Alrighty, so this right here is our bolt driver, also known as Bena-Drill. And the way this thing works is it has its arm, which will have a servo motor right where it starts to angle outward towards the drill unit, which is that red. And it will have one right there to kind of adjust the overall height of the drill, and then there will be one closer to the actual drill itself that will adjust the angle of the drill in order to align properly. And at the front here we have space here to put the ultrasonic rangefinder, which will show basically when the drill unit itself is close to an object. And right here is the motor that will be controlling. The motor's in blue, by the way. It will be controlling the drill itself. And here at the bottom, basically these little blue things, it's just like a visual representation of like the motors. So you have one per tire, but the way it's going to be set up is the code will separate these into left and right, and that is in order to allow for turning. And that's pretty much it for the physical look of the drill. And now on to the code. It's the code and all the circuitry. So as we see here, we have 3 9-volt batteries to provide sufficient power for the motors, and we have our ultrasonic distance finder just to provide distance and constraints in order to have them turn off when needed. We have our servo motors, which are to adjust the angle and the height of the drill, and our Arduino, which is pretty much the brains of the operation in this one, just to get the code to work. And here is a code, so everything is set up here and everything's defined as well. All the motors, as you can see, all the connections. And here we have the output definitions, and over here we have how the motors work based on distance and how it'll go forward if farther away or closer. And this is the actual program part of the rangefinder, just to allow for this top part over here for the motors to actually be able to function. And here at the bottom is the individual, like turn left, turn right, the stop, motor reverse, motor forward, just whenever the command is needed. Then if we start a simulation, we can see how this gets put together. So this is basically our neutral position, which is just going to kind of have our drill at a standard spot. But as you can see, the motors are starting to go forward by default. But once we start to get closer, as you can see here, it gets reversed in order to avoid a collision. And as you can also see, the angle of the servos, at the beginning it's the neutral. When you get a little closer, it'll adjust the head just to kind of angle it so that it's closer to an alignment with the tire, and at the closest it can get, it will go fully to alignment with the tire. Now when it comes to the way this thing works, it receives its commands from the boss, which that bot contains the necessary start, stop, all those individual commands. And for those, there would definitely need to be some sort of controller or some sort of transmitter of sort to be able to send the command from the boss to the drill in order to successfully operate in unison. And yeah, that's basically the overall circuitry of Bena-Drill and the model.